Thank you for watching. This is my Axial Racing Yeti Kit. So far I've done 2 videos about this. One of them was super boring. It's just me pouring a bunch of parts out of a box and opening a box. And the other video was me actually putting the thing together, which was a lot of fun and also a lot of work. And right now we've come to the point which is always my favorite part of any build, which is the paint work. Now this thing, it has some really detailed, super nice, I think, legs and panels. Especially the interior is very intricate. And it will be a lot of work to detail that one up, but it will be worth the effort, especially the interior. It is fully protected with a roll cage, so it isn't the part that I will be swapping out anytime soon, since it won't get damaged, it won't get a lot of wear and tear and or abuse. So the interior is something that I will mainly focus on when doing my paint work. And then of course we also have these, we'll call them body panels. It's one big panel that wraps around the entire cage, plus you have the roof panel. There's not a whole lot of room to come up with a customized paint scheme, just since there is a very limited amount of space on all these body panels. Don't feel like with the limited amount of space that you're dictated to follow the lines that are molded in. I will in fact see if I will use those or not. But just take your time to come up with something that works and that strikes you as being different and that goes well with the overall flow of the car. Now the Yeti comes with a whole lot of stickers as well that you can use, that you can detail the outside with. Not sure to what extent I will be using those, but I guess we will see that as I go along and as I detail mine up. For now, the main thing that I need to do is take all these body panels off, give them a good wash, give them a tiny bit of a scuff as well to make sure I have some good paint adhesion. With scuffing it up, I'm still bad at muting my stuff, by the way, that will never change. With scuffing it up, I need to make sure not to hit these headlights. There are some light buckets for the front headlights that you can fit behind it, just so you can install some LEDs, make it a tiny bit more detailed and well, even more personalized. So keep in mind, if you want to use those instead of the headlight decals that also come in the kit, then don't scuff them up. Same goes for windows and any other type of body, but in this case, well, there are none. So let's do that first, and I will see you right after that. Well, as you can tell, I stripped the cage, and let me show you what I got so far, because I skipped a few steps ahead. In general, this is not the most interesting part of a paint scheme. They do a few close-ups of me cutting, but there's really not that much to it. As long as you keep in mind, if you want to put some texts on your car, just print them out in reverse, like so. Put them on the outside of the car and start cutting on the inside. And from there, it's basically you can just add as much detail as you want. So what I did, I added a few lines. So I cut some strips of tape, which you cannot see on camera, but you will see that as the paint scheme progresses. And I wanted to have something that ties in the roof with the rest of the body a tiny bit. I did no masking whatsoever on the interior, just because I think I'm going to give that a simple coat of black. And whatever detail I want to put in there, like for example the suits of the driver and the co-driver, I'm going to paint that from the outside. Since there is a clear overspray film on this piece, I can just cut that out and peel it, paint it as I go, before eventually giving it a coat of a flat clear. For now I will focus on putting the black on the interior and putting the black on the rest of the body, because overall I want it to look a bit dark and a bit mean. I'm done with the black, so that means that I can move on to the next color in my paint scheme. You can tell that I peeled a whole lot of lines here on the side and also on the hood of the car and on the roof. What I want to do is I'm gonna fill those in with 2 different colors. First color that I'm going to use on one part of what I've peeled right now is going to be gunmetal, and I want to have a bit of a fade going on over here from bottom to top, most likely, and then on the front and on the roof from the sides inwards. So I'm going to almost spray against this hard edge, see if I can fade that paint out a tiny bit and get a bit of a gradient going on. So I will eventually back this with black. So it will look a tiny bit more detailed than it is right now. Now for the parts that I still need to peel, all those tiny strips of masking tape, I need to have a color for that as well. So I asked some help on my Facebook page, and I got a lot of response to that. People wanted to see green, blue, all those colors. One color that wasn't mentioned, not even once, was pink. So when I asked my girls yesterday, what color do you think the car should be, they gave me the answer pink. So pink it is, because I cannot disappoint them. And I think it will also be nice. It will make the body pop a tiny bit. And eventually, once I put my flat clear coat on, it will still look, well, more or less mean. So let's go with the pink. Well, there you have it, all done. The Axial Yeti Kit, at least the paintwork. In this case, you have seen me build this car in a different video. I have to say, the way that everything slots together and the way that everything fits, it is really something else. Axial really does their homework on how to produce their kits. No exception in this case. This was a lot of work to build. It was also a ton of fun to paint up. They have some really nice stickers for the interior, which I used. For the interior, I just painted it black on the inside, peeled some of the overspray film on the outside, gave that a coat of gunmetal before giving it a coat of white, and then finished it off with the stickers. And for the outside, don't be afraid to use some colors that you may not initially think of, like for example the pink that I used over here. I faded a cherry red, which is, well, basically a pink, to a gunmetal, and the rest of the stripes and the rest of the lettering, I finished that off with a fluorescent pink. I think it turned out pretty cool, especially with the flat clear coat over the outside, just to dull it down a tiny bit. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, hit the like button. You don't have to per se, but it is appreciated, just as you know. Any questions, leave me a comment. Not subscribed yet, please do. Also much appreciated, and want to be ahead of what's going on over here. Check out the links in the description box, links to my Facebook, links to my Instagram, links to absolutely everything except for my bank account. You can find them all over there. Thanks for watching, take care, bye bye.